Ndị be anyị ekenere m unu. Asị m ka nke onye chiri ya zelu. Asị m unu ụtụtụ ọma, ehihie ọma, mgbede ọma, site n'ebe isi wee na-esore anyị n'ụbọchị nke taa na Eastern News 24. Anyị si na ọ ya dịrị onye ọbụla na mma kada bụ ndị na-esore anyị n'ilu akwụkwọ n'ihe anyị na-ebe dị iche iche. N'ụbọchị nke taa anyị si na ọ ya dịrị anyị Igbo na mma na anyị yarị ka echi na echi ede agwụ agwụ. Ife anyị na-akpọ ya bụ ife wetara n'ụbọchị nke taa bụ ife anyị na-akpọ ya bụ morning tea n'ilu akwụkwọ. Ihe a bụ gbasịta maka ya bụ ihe na-eme na obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya, ana gbasịta maka nwere onwe ndị Igbo na-azọ. Dịka o si dị, o nwere ihe Biafran Prime Minister kwuru n'ilu akwụkwọ nwetara unu ka unu ga ya bụ ife, unu ga-esi ya bụ ife na tinye alụ nke unu ife unu chere gbasịta maka ihe ndị a niile o kwugasị n'ilu akwụkwọ dị iche iche n'ụbọchị nke taa na morning tea. Dịka ị na-ege ya bụ ife, dropkwara your own comment n'ilu akwụkwọ, ọ dịkwa nnukwu mkpa. All right, over to you, sir.
My name's EKPA Simon Njoko. I am a Biafran, and I joined the liberation of independent state of Biafra in 2019. And after the kidnap of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, and extraordinarily rendition to Nigeria in quest to end the Biafra struggle, I emerged as the leader of the then autopilot. The autopilot movement of the Biafra liberation metamorphosed to the Biafra government in exile and the de facto government in the homeland. And I was elected as the Prime Minister of the Biafra government, both in the homeland and in exile, on the 9th of April 2023. So I have been the Prime Minister of Biafra government since April 2023 to date. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. Also, I would like to welcome the audience who are following us, especially the people from the Biafra. And this show is very much about the Eritrean and the Biafran people. And I think they have a lot of stuff, things related, so we are on the same struggle. And this program is one of the tools and means that we are using in our struggle. Mr. President Bahdurai as well, can you give us a background history of yourself and the transitional Eritrean government in exile?
Great. Primarily, I think I want to thank you, Mr. Hiyabu, for having us here. And I also want to give the Prime Minister, Simon Akbar, so do Mr. Ilyas for being here with us. This is only the beginning of so many to come. So I think we are very happy to be here together. My name is Gabri Bahadurai, and I am the founder and also the president of the transitional Eritrean government in exile. For so many years, yes, since even young age, I was one of the early victims of Exodus. That was 1977, since the time, if not only one time, for 30 years, because of the existing government. I couldn't even visit my family. I couldn't be back home, while I was even welcomed 2 weeks ago to go to Ethiopia. Therefore, we decided, after so many struggle through the political parties and many different waves of people's movement in other sense, so I didn't see much to work. So I came up with the idea a little bit different, which is government in exile. If you're going to fight a government, you might act and prepare yourself as a government so you don't become a failed state, because it's not only for the sake of changing the government. So what after changing the government? Anything you try to remove something, you must think about replacement. So for that reason, 2.5 years, we introduced this government in exile, officially registered under the State Department of Justice. Going forward, even now, we are also working in order to elevate our program through the lobbying firm of Moran and Enterprise, And for that reason, that's why Mr. Elias is here, and he's the one to introduce both of us. So with that, I think I'll let it sit here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. G. Going forward, Mr. Elias, Vice President of the Modern Strategies Incorporation lobbying firm, can you tell us who you and who you are and what role do you play with the Biafra and the Eritrean government in exile?
Thank you so much. I'm greatly honored to be here with all of you. As noted, I am a lobbyist with Moran Global Strategies, which is a lobbying firm founded by my good friend and colleague, James Moran, who served as a member of Congress representing Virginia for about a quarter of a century. Our firm has a great specialty in representing foreign clientele, whether it be foreign governments, foreign political parties, or corporations, amongst other clients, which include defense companies and a wide variety of causes. Our firm represents both the Biafra Republic government in exile. We also represent the Eritrean government in exile and the transitional president of Eritrea, Gebre Badarai. And these are not only clients, but also good and dear friends as well. And our firm, because we represent both clients, we brought both these Biafran causes and Eritrean causes together because it's always beneficial to see if there's mutual synergy between clients. To give you a layman's perspective, if you will, of what is lobbying at a granular level, which I think will be helpful for your audience. Similar to, I think the best analogy, which I think will make this lobbying, which oftentimes can be overly complicated, in a very simple, practical, and easy to understand way, is similar to how people hire accountants to do their taxes, or people hire lawyers to navigate the legal process. People hire lobbyists to navigate the political process and to influence public policy. Now, theoretically, you don't need a lobbyist. Everyone has the right to petition the government, but you have a much better chance of influencing policy, of having a voice in the room if you have a lobbyist. The same thing is in court. You could technically go into court without a lawyer, but if you go into court without a lawyer, and on the opposite side, you have a lawyer that's from a top law firm being paid $1,000 an hour, you're probably going to lose the case. The same thing applies here. We have expertise, we have an understanding of how Washington works, and we have relationships. Many of the members of Congress who are still in Congress have served in Congress with my colleague Jim Moran. He knows them. They know him. Many members of Congress know me. Many people in the think tank community know me. So when we make meeting requests on behalf of our clients, or when we try to relay items on behalf of our clients, it's not coming from a stranger. It's coming from a friend, a familiar voice. And look, I want to be clear. When we make requests, it doesn't automatically mean the member of Congress is going to do whatever we request or whatever we want. But we're in a position where we could have direct access, where we could put our clients face to face with the member of Congress, with their staffer, with the think tank official, with the stakeholders, where they could have that direct access, which is very difficult to get if you don't have a lobbyist. I'm just being very frank with you, because these offices are inundated with thousands of requests a day from people, most of whom they don't even know. And so the reaction you're going to have when you have someone that is a known quantity versus someone you never heard of before, it's going to be completely different. And because of our activities, we're already seeing the results. Most recently, for example, the American Enterprise Institute and one of its senior scholars, Dr. Michael Rubin, who I've known personally for many years, published a very influential article talking about the Biafra self-referendum. This has not been ever done before. Biafra, until our engagement, really hasn't been discussed in Washington, D.C. But now, because of our efforts, one of the world's most influential think tanks is publishing about Biafra. With President Badarai, we've had a series of high-level meetings with President Badarai. We've had a series of high-level meetings with Congressman Sherman, with Ambassador Nagy. Ambassador Nagy also met with the Biafran Prime Minister, and they published these meetings. They issued tweets, which generated enormous publicity and also have caused us to receive attacks from the Eritrean Minister of Information. So with our activities, we're able to directly influence U.S. policy on behalf of our clients and to get real results, which would be difficult to achieve otherwise. And so, I view us as the spokesperson, if you will, or the spokespeople for these two noble causes here in Washington, D.C. We've made enormous progress, and I think we'll continue to make a significant more progress in the next coming weeks and months. So I just want to give you the 60,000-foot overview of generally what is a lobbyist, what it is that we do, why we're important. And I'm sure your audience can understand, when a congressperson receives a call from someone they served in Congress with for 20 years, it's going to be reacted to differently than a random phone call to their office. So I think this should be an easy message to comprehend. I think it's an important one for your audience to know. And I'm happy to discuss more specifics in the course of our conversation, but I just want to give you and your audience a 60,000-foot overview.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for all that, Mr. Elias, Vice President of the Modern Strategies. Going back to Prime Minister, the Honorable Simon Ekpa, can you give us some of the reasons why the Biafran people needed to be independent of the Nigerian government?
Thank you very much, Mr. Haibu, for that question. Biafra was forcefully joined together with Nigeria, other ethnic tribe in Nigeria, other ethnic nationalities. And during this forceful union, which was named the Amalgamation of 1914, the people that made up of the Niger area, which is today Nigeria, were not consulted. And people did not consent to find themselves, into this forceful union. And it may interest you that it is only in Nigeria that we have what is called a dangerous diversity. And in this dangerous diversity from 1914, we have seen Nigeria supervising death of millions upon millions of indigenous people, both those that were massacred and killed by the terrorists that are invading Nigeria from other parts of the world. Unchallenged, the history of the northern Nigeria, which was conquered by a man called Usman Dan Fodio, is what they are struggling all the time to replicate in this modern century. So Biafra found themselves in this forceful union with a very dangerous diversity, the diversity of culture, diversity of religion, diversity of language, everything. We are pulled apart from each other. Of course, it is not just about this diversity, but also the killings for a particular targeted purpose. And everybody understands that during the pogrom against the Biafrans in the north in 1945, it resulted to what led to the war, because the leaders of Biafra then decided that we can no longer continue to watch our people getting killed every day in Nigeria. And that led to the declaration of Biafra in 1967. Now, fast forward. After the war of Biafra in Nigeria, the genocide ended. there was something they called triple R, which was introduced by the then president military ruler called One. And of course, on that ground and basis, Biafrans lay down their weapons. After that, triple R
network.
I think we're having some challenges.
Yes. Until.
Am I being heard?
Yeah, I think yeah, we have some
the network
problems. Yeah, we can go forward and then
yes,
come
and then
back.
You come back. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Come back to you.
Yeah, I can continue. It is
okay. Good.
I can
good.
continue.
Yeah.
It is one of those things. Yeah,
Yeah.
It is one of those things we see in a movement like this. You're gonna see cyber attack. You're gonna see all manner of
yes.
interruption.
That's true.
When the opposition and the evil enablers and their inventors are trying to disrupt this wonderful and historic program. So we are not going to be moved by all the interruption and all that. We will continue to focus on why we are here today. Whenever you stop hearing me, please call my attention. And when I also notice there is a problem on this side, I will also adjust. So going forward,
keep the fight on, Mr. President, Prime Minister. Keep the fight going on. Yes, we will continue.
Thank you. So going forward, Nigeria today no longer function as a law-governed state capable of resolving its political problem, socio-political problem, the diversity problem, the ethnic crisis, the invention of the jihadist movement all over Nigeria. Nigeria have demonstrated that they are incapable of solving these problems. And so we have witnessed the massacre of people within the Nigeria state. We have witnessed the killings of indigenous people, and these killings is spreading very wide up to now to the southern part of Nigeria. And of course, these terrorists are struggling also to invade Biafra land. And they are being backed by the Nigeria state. As we see today, the Nigeria government is being controlled by these extremists. And then, of course, the Biafra people are completely different people from different background, different ethnic nationality, different religions, and all that. So we decided that we will not rely on Nigeria protection, otherwise the original plan of a man called Usman Danfodio will come to fruition. Biafra decided that we are going to take this upon ourselves, as the leaders of the Biafra in the 60s have created the awareness and, of course, tried to defend Biafrans that are getting killed all over Nigeria. And, of course, that particular attempt failed in what we see as a genocide. Nigeria have not been tried in any court for the starvation of Biafrans and the war crime against Biafra people. Today, Nigeria security agents are all infiltrated by Boko Haram and other terrorist groups. And these terrorists are being sent to different parts of Nigeria, either to directly attack and enable the conquest of other ethnic nationalities, or they are going to be there to supervise and share the terrorists while they sack villages and communities. On a daily basis, we witness hundreds and hundreds of people getting killed. Many
dalụline na ụmụ ife ka unu si wee na-esoro anyị n'idu akwụkwọ na Eastern News 24 n'ụbọchị nketa anyị na-akpọ ya Morning Tea. Unu anụgonu ya bụ ife mgbakọrịta ụka ya bụ ife Maazị Simon Ekpa bụ Biafran Prime Minister or Biafran Public Government in exile. Dịka o si dị n'afọ ka o si ada n'iru akwụkwọ gịnị ka ị nwere ikwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile kwugasị n'ilu akwụkwọ dị iche iche drọpụla ya on the comment section below. Ọzọ dịkwa ka ibe ya bụ na nke a bụ ụbọchị izizi gị na-esoyere anyị n'ilu akwụkwọ, onye na-afụ ya bụ ihe onyonyo anyị kaba alụ ka ị like ya and turn on notification, share kwe ka o wetakwa ndị ọzọ ụmụnne anyị dị n'ebe dị iche iche aka. Daalụ nne na Igbo ọma na-ege ntị. Oge na-adịrị anya onye ndu ya apụta n'ụlọ mkpọrọ. Ka emesịanụ ụmụnne m.